Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to do some NCAA basketball tournament championship predictions, so on and so forth. I've done this last year, went okay, and also I feel like it's been a while since I last did a prediction video on anything. So I'm not going to waste no time much further. We're just going to jump right into it. And we're only going to go bracket by bracket. We're going to do the East first, West second, South third, and Midwest last, or whatever that last bracket's called. But anyway, we're gonna start off with, and since I don't have a big knowledge in college basketball, I'm pretty much gonna be educating guessing on some of these. So let's begin. Starting off with the number one overall seed, taking on Stetson College. Yeah, I'm rolling with UConn. Then we have FAU, which was a Final Four darling last year, taking on Northwestern. I do believe that this will be a good little matchup. At the end of the day, I'm going to roll with FAU. Now we have another Final Four darling from last year, San Diego State. Remember, they made it to the national championship last year. And they'll be taking on the UAB Blazers, University of Alabama, Birmingham. And I've heard a lot of good things about UAB, but I'm actually going to give the slight edge over San Diego State for this one. And then we have the Auburn Tigers taking on Yale. I'm going to roll with Auburn in this one. So far, this bracket is going very, very stock standard. Now we have BYU taking on, I can't really pronounce that school, the Kness, whatever. I'm just going to roll BYU to win. Illinois Morehead State. I'm going to roll with Illinois. And here's where my first upset may occur, because I'm going to roll with Drake beating Washington State. And then for last but not least, for this bracket, for the first round, Iowa State taking on South Dakota State. I think Iowa State should take care of things. Back to the top, we have UConn taking on FAU. And again, this could have been a national championship game last year hadn't San Diego State Lamont Butler hit that shot. I am going to roll with UConn to win. For San Diego State Auburn, I'm going to roll with Auburn to win. BYU Illinois, I'm actually going to go with BYU to win. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people in this tournament. And Drake and Iowa State, I got to roll with Iowa State to win. For the Sweet 16, this leaves us with UConn and Auburn. I'm definitely rolling with UConn. And to give us BYU versus Iowa State, I think Iowa State will win. And in the Elite Eight, I'm going to roll with UConn to get that first spot in the Final Four over Iowa State. But I won't be surprised if Iowa State wins. Alright. Let's go to the South bracket. I'm going to do the South bracket next. And this is where Houston is the number one seed over Longwood. Pause. I'm taking Houston to win. Next we have is Nebraska over Texas A&M. I'm actually going to roll with Nebraska to win. I heard they're a little scrappy brunch. And this is where another upset I'll have. I'm rolling with James Madison over Wisconsin. Because every year, one thing I have noticed about the tournament is that a 12 always beats a 5 every year. Also, a 13 always beats a 4. And in this case, Duke and Vermont. And I'm actually going to roll with Duke to win. Although, I will be personally cheering for Vermont. Because Duke right now doesn't have much momentum going for them. Next we have is Texas Tech taking on the ACC champion North Carolina State Wolfpack. I'm going to roll with NC State to win. They're also playing great basketball. And then we have Kentucky over Oakland. I actually won't be surprised if Oakland wins, but I am going to roll with Kentucky to win. Then we have Florida taking on the winner of Colorado and Boise State. And as an educated guess, I'm just going to say Colorado wins that first matchup. And I'm going to roll with Florida to win. And last but not least, Marquette taking on Western Kentucky. I'm going to roll with Marquette to win. Back to the top, Houston over Nebraska. I'm going to roll with Houston to win. James Madison over Duke. I'm going to unfortunately pick Duke. NC State over Kentucky. Part of me want to take NC State bad because I know from past tournament performances, Kentucky cannot be trusted. But I got to roll with Kentucky to win. And then last but not least, Marquette in Florida. I also wanted to pick Florida for this game. And you know what? To cause chaos, I am going to pick Florida to win. Houston and Duke, I think Duke's run will come to an end against Houston. And for Kentucky and Florida, I think Florida's going to surprise everyone and make it to the Elite Eight. However, their run will come to an end against Houston. And Houston will have that second spot in the Final Four. Now we're on to the West bracket, where we have on to the Midwest bracket, where number one Purdue will be taking on the winner of Grambling State and Montana State. And I pray to God Purdue do not do what they did last year in the first round. If you know, you know. But I think Purdue's going to come out on fire this tournament. So give me Purdue. Next we have is Utah State over TCU. I know every year a 9 beats an 8, and I think this will be the case. I'm rolling with TCU. Gonzaga and McNeese State. I think this game's going to be closer than what people think, but I am going to lean towards Gonzaga. Then we have Kansas and Samford. I'm going to roll with Kansas to win. South Carolina and Oregon. This is where I think Oregon will make their run. I think Oregon will take down South Carolina. Then we have Creighton against Akron. This one, I think I'm going to roll with Creighton to win. Then we have Texas taking on the winner of Colorado State and University of Virginia. And I'm, regardless, especially if it's Virginia, I'm rolling with Texas. And then Tennessee taking on St. Peter's. Do I take St. Peter's? Because remember a couple years ago, they had that big upset over Kentucky. Nah, not this time. Rolling with Tennessee. Then we have Purdue taking on TCU. I'm going to roll with Purdue to win. We have Gonzaga taking on Kansas. I think Kansas, they have a couple of injuries that I heard, and they're not as deep as they usually be. So I'm going to roll with Gonzaga to win. Then we have Oregon taking on Creighton. Give me the Oregon Ducks to win. And Tennessee taking on Texas. I'm going to roll with Rocky Top. For Purdue and Gonzaga, I'm torn on this one. I'm going to lean towards Purdue. And then Oregon and Tennessee, I'm going with Oregon to go into the Elite Eight. They're going to surprise a lot of people. And last but not least, we have Purdue and Oregon. And do I do it? Do I go for the surprise? Boom. Oregon will be going to the Final Four for the first time since 2017. Ironically, it will also be in Arizona. So, and last but not least, we have the West bracket. And this is where North Carolina will hold the last number one seed. And they'll be taking on the winner of Howard and Wagner State. Howard and Wagner. Regardless, I think North Carolina will win. Then we have Mississippi State taking on Michigan State. I'm going to roll with Michigan State to win. I'm hearing that they're a very, very hot team. Their record doesn't, their 19-14 record doesn't tell their story. St. Mary's and Grand Canyon, I'm going to roll with St. Mary's to win. Alabama and Charleston, give me Bama. Clemson and New Mexico, I'm going to roll with, give me Clemson to win. Baylor and Colgate, I'm saying I'm going to roll with Baylor because Baylor has been Baylor's actually one of my sleeper teams. Dayton and Nevada, this is a tough one, but I'm actually going to roll with Nevada to win. And Arizona and Long Beach, I'm going to roll with Arizona to win. Even though my history of picking Arizona has been spotty at best. Then we have North Carolina taking on Michigan State. I am rolling with the North Carolina Tar Heels. Next we have is St. Mary's over Alabama. I'm going to roll with Alabama in their offense. They have a really good offense. Clemson and Baylor, two of my sleeper teams, but I'm going to roll with Baylor to win. And that'll give us Arizona and North Carolina. North Carolina and Alabama. This one's actually tough for me. I know if Bama's, it all depends on Bama's shooting, how they do. But I have faith in the North Carolina Tar Heels to win. As in, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I got faith in Arizona. And this sets up the biggest game, pretty much of the Elite Eight. North Carolina versus Arizona. Could we see Caleb Love, the Pac-12 Player of the Year, take on his former team in the North Carolina Tar Heels? And for this instance, I know it's going to hurt me because I am a North Carolina Tar Heel fan. Once again, I'm doing it. Arizona in the Final Four. And that brings us to the Final Four. UConn and Arizona. This game is in Phoenix, so there's going to be a lot of Wildcats rooting for them. Put the Wildcats in the championship game. And I'm also going to roll with Houston to go to the championship game. And I think my championship winner will be the Houston Cougars will win. The NCAA will be your 2024 NCAA basketball champions. You heard it here first. I said it. So tell me what y'all think in the comments below. Who do you think will be in the Final Four? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.